Hello, my friend. How have you been? It's been a little while since I've done a DnDaily. I've got a couple great things to talk with you about today. We're going to talk a little bit more about exploding dice. We're going to talk about the ttrpg system Savage Worlds, and I've got an announcement, some other little things to review. So let's get right to it. Hello and welcome to 1 in 20 D&D. Of course, I'm Gregory and I'm so glad to be back in front of the camera with you here. I have been doing so much over the past year and I have gotten out of the habit of recording these DnDailies. I just wanted to bring you up to speed and share some thoughts and ideas about exploding dice, Savage Worlds, and why that's important. And of course, the main reason is I've got a fun announcement regarding to this. However, coincidentally, I've had a great conversation with Fallen Archon on the original video that I did about exploding dice, where I kind of talk about like what are exploding dice and a few systems that use it and so forth. Great conversation. Thanks, Fallen Archon, and all of you. I appreciate having conversations in the comments. If you got any thoughts, always remember to share them with me, and we'll talk about what you're interested in as well. So, what are exploding dice? Why does it matter? What is Savage Worlds? Let's get right into it. Savage Worlds is a really cool system. It does use exploding dice. So what are exploding dice in a quick nutshell? Exploding dice are whenever you roll a dice, whether it's a D4, D6, whatever the case may be, if you roll the maximum number on the die, you roll it again. That's all it means, really. So let's use a D6, that's the easiest one to think about. I roll the die, I get a 6, I roll again. If I get another 6, I roll again. And let's say I get a 2. So that would be 6 plus 2. 12 plus 2, 14. So I get a total of 14 having rolled 3 dice. That's how it works. That's what exploding dice are. So as you can imagine, in a heroic game, it can be incredibly amazing to have that happen at a critical moment. And of course, it can be hysterical when it happens at the worst moment. So it's a really fun system. I really enjoy exploding dice, and I haven't had a ton of chances to play in those systems. So let's talk for a moment about Savage Worlds. Now, Savage Worlds is a really cool game system where it uses exploding dice in the mechanics of how you interact with the game. One of the other things that I really love about Savage Worlds, now I don't have a lot of experience with it yet, and that's what we're gonna get to a little later on here in this video. However, what I have experienced in the few sessions I've run, or excuse me, I've played in, I should say, and just in reading through the book and getting familiar with the system, I love how they have what are called edges and hindrances. Now, what's an edge? What's a hindrance? Well, a hindrance is probably pretty obvious. It's something that kind of holds you back, limits you. It's a built-in system for having flaws in your character. Then you have, of course, edges. Edges are like your powers, your cool things, your abilities that you can do. And there's other elements to the system. This video isn't intended to be a how to play Savage Worlds. It's more of just like a quick introduction to the system. Again, why I'll get to in a moment. So this game is really fun because, again, you have these heroic characters. However, built into the characters are these kind of like flaws or setbacks or what have you. So you're going to have things that make you role-playing your character a challenge. And I love that. I love doing that in my characters anyway. Let's talk about D&D for a sec. If we're playing D&D, a lot of us know if we roll up our stats or if we use the, generated stats for us, the standard array and so forth, we have what we jokingly sort of refer to as the dump stat, right? The lowest number you roll where you kind of throw it into that ability that your character might not use all the time, or that you're okay with them being a little bit bad at. So for instance, the fumbling silly wizard who has a terrible dexterity and trips over his own feet and that sort of thing. Well, in Savage Worlds, they've built that in with even more, let's say, specifics. For instance, you might have a hindrance like being arrogant, which can be a pain. I've actually chosen that in one of the games I'm about to play, and I'm going to talk more about in a moment. That can be a lot of fun, but it also can be really difficult. Other things might be like being disfigured or scarred or having something that physically sets you apart from the average person. You might have something where you're paranoid, or there's maybe you're weak or slow or incredibly obese. There's all these kind of things that can make playing your character a challenge. And then of course, you have all the abilities, the edges and so forth that give you these really heroic feats that you can accomplish as well. So it's a really cool system and I'm really excited about playing it. But why, you might be asking? Well, let's talk about a little bit what I've been doing over the last year, and let's tie that into why I'm so excited about trying Savage Worlds out. I have been doing a lot of streaming with the Dice Tyrants. You may have seen me there, you might have known, because I've made a few mentions with that in some of the old DnDailies. And I am getting ready this Sunday to start what we are calling The Ascended. The Ascended is going to be a Savage Worlds systems game, and it is cyberpunk superheroes. I can't wait to get this started. I am playing a character whose code name or superhero name is Spark. And I am not going to tell you any more details about this because I want you to come and hang out with us or check the VODs on YouTube or Twitch. Again, this is with Dice Tyrants. I've been doing a bunch of stuff. I just finished just a few short weeks ago. We played an amazing game using Aether and Steamworks by Ty Burris, which is a really cool system. I was on the Clockwork Zephyr crew. It was awesome. It was like steampunk in outer space kind of thing. It was just super fun. Not only that, I've been on and continue to be on Saturday nights with the Dice Tyrants for the Aldebryn Chronicles. We are doing a Tomb of Annihilation homebrew kind of like, it's amazing. We basically came from another world into the world of Toril to play, to run a game in this area of Chult in the jungle. So, oh my gosh, if you know the Tomb of Annihilation, this is probably nothing like it. So even if you've seen other games like that, you might want to come and check us out because we have a great cast and an amazing GM, and we're just having a lot of fun there. So, The Ascended starts Sunday, so you'll be able to see me Saturday night and Sunday night with the Dice Tyrants and just having a blast with amazing individuals. We're just... streaming with them has been awesome, and it's part of why I haven't been doing the DnDailies, because it takes a little more time and I don't have the time as every day editing and so forth. So, hey, that's what I've been up to. Thank you for being with me for this ride with the 365 DnDailies, 1 year of DnDailies, and of course, as I continue to produce these for you, I appreciate you coming in and checking them out. And of course, the conversations in the comments are fantastic. If you ever have a question about anything related to ttrpgs, let me know. In the meantime, check out this video here right next to me next. Keep rolling 20s. I hope to see you at a table someday, and remember, it's your game, play your way.